And then literally while I was standing here looking at it, the dash freaked out, started blinking and flashing and shit, and then the dash went completely black. The car was still running, but the dash was totally black. So I don't know it would not start after I shut it off. What's up, guys? Can you tell what we're looking at right now? What you're underneath is disco. I finished my last undercoating this morning, and of course, the first thing I did was run down and get disco. Bring it up here so we can get it on the lift, we can take a look at it and see what we're working with. First glance, this thing's borderline too nice to turn into an enduro car. Not gonna lie. It's got 192,000 miles on it. It does have a lot of mileage on it, but someone took care of this car. It was undercoated, must have been from the factory with what looks like a rubberized undercoating, like a Z-Bart or something, but it's pretty nice. It's not rotten at all. At all. I'm thinking this thing could not have been a New York car its whole life. A little bit of rust on that back bumper. That back bumper is a little rusty, but otherwise, I mean, the exhaust isn't rotted out on it. I'm not seeing rust like in the rockers or the pinch welds or anything along the sides here, you know, where the lift picks it up. It's, I'm telling you, man, this thing is surprisingly clean. Surprisingly clean. I got an exhaust leak right here at this flange, right behind the cat, before it goes to this first muffler or resonator or whatever you want to call this thing, right here. But other than that, the exhaust doesn't have rot in it. It kind of looks like somebody might have patched it here once, but also maybe that was like that from the factory. I don't know. It's a pretty odd shaped section here where the muffler is like flat oval shaped. And then the flex pipes, you know, the mesh is kind of coming off them, but they don't look split. They don't look like they're leaking. I don't know. There's a little bit of oil here under the transmission, but it's just weeping. It's not like there's actual oil leaking anywhere. This thing's, I almost feel like I should put it on the road and drive it. It's so nice. I almost feel bad. I almost feel bad turning it into an enduro car. I mean, I really, really, really hope this thing survives the Altima 600. I mean, I plan on winning, but you never know. Some people aren't very good drivers, and there's always the possibility you could get caught in somebody else's mess. But I really hope not, because this thing is nice. As far as Altimas are concerned, this one's a beauty. Wow. What a peach. It's not much adjustment in anything, and we aren't allowed to do anything. So it's not like we can put aftermarket parts or anything on it. We're not allowed to do any of that stuff. I was looking at if there was a possibility to shift anything inside the stock mounts to, you know, maybe get some rear steer or something out of it, but I'm not seeing, that's not looking like a possibility, if I'm being honest. Not a whole lot of stuff here to move. It's got a whole rear subframe, but I don't think you can cock it under the car at all. Maybe? The bolt here, looks like there's 4 main bolts holding it in. I don't know. Maybe you could loosen them and, you know, put a little rear steer in it. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff hooked to it. I'm thinking probably not. I don't think you're going to be able to do much here with the stock setup. But if I wanted to take it apart, I imagine it would come apart because it's not rusty. I can't believe it's not rusty. Like, at all not rusty. The back plate's got, like, some surface rust on them. That's about it. Like, the little control arms here, they got, like, a little bit of surface rust on the front of them from being sandblasted from driving down the road, you know? But, like, there's no rot. Like, at all. It's incredible for a car that supposedly was in New York its whole life. I find that extremely hard to believe. Extremely hard to believe. I'm going to bring you guys along here for this so you can see closer. All right, get out of there. What are we doing? All right, let's zoom in a little bit so you can actually see. Do you see this stuff? It's not rusty. It's crazy. Not rotten, not rusty. See the pinch weld all the way down? The brake line? Those aren't brake lines. That's a seam. Brake lines are right here. Yeah, ridiculous. Ridiculous how clean this thing is. That's wild. Absolutely wild how nice this car is. Looks like they might have bottomed it out. And some mud or something. Maybe went off the road. There's a little bit of dirt and stuff packed up in here. Might have taken a little ditch ride or something, but it ain't bad. It ain't bad at all. I'm impressed. All right, let's get this thing down and try to diagnose what's going on inside the engine bay there where we had our thermal event. All right, so to, I guess, reiterate the story of what happened here, this minor thermal event, as an engineer would call it, there was a fire here, not so much over here or back here, but right here, there was a fire, okay? And it's a little crispy. Stuff got crispy. For the most part, it kind of looks like this plastic wire loom just kind of melted off of everything. But like this main power cord here, it isn't melted through the sheath. Even these small wires, for the most part, it doesn't look to be melted through the actual wire sheath. Just the plastic that was around the outside of it kind of got melted off. These grounds up here, a little crispy, but I think it's mostly just the plastic that's on the outside of them. We got a little copper wire there showing. It's not focusing, but yeah. So we're going to have to address these grounds just to make sure. Grounds are so important. Got to make sure that's not going to break. Nothing's going to happen there. So I got to take a look real close at this wiring. Got to pull each wire apart in this general area here. Not so much here or here, but like right here. And check that. I mean, it doesn't matter that there's copper showing on the ground if it's still, attached. It's not going anywhere because it's a ground. It doesn't really matter. Now, the main thing is down there, buried under all of that mess, is an alternator. So as the story goes, the kid drove to work, pulled in, noticed it was smoking under the hood, hopped out, opened the hood. While he was standing here, poof, it caught on fire. They real quickly put it out with a fire extinguisher at his work. Okay, I don't really see a ton of fire extinguisher residue here. Not the point. They put it out. Okay. Now, when I went and looked at it, I pulled this dipstick, and I was a little bit questionable that there might be too much oil in it. And they said that they had just done an oil change. And the oil does look super clean on the dipstick. So I believe they did an oil change. However, I'm wondering if they put too much oil in it. Because, I had it running, so yes, the dipstick's covered in oil. It could be just from its running. Maybe they didn't put too much oil in it. But in the little bit of time that I had it running, it started to smoke a little bit over in this general area, which made the guy very nervous. And I think that's part of the reason they wanted to sell it, is because this made them nervous. All of this over here. Okay. And they took it to their mechanic, and their mechanic said that the alternator overheated and caused the fire. This thing's been sitting for a week and a half with the battery hooked up, and it hasn't drained the power out of the battery. It fires right up. It appears to be charging the battery. We are going to get, the voltmeter out and check and make sure that the alternator is charging the battery, but there's zero funny noises coming from the alternator or that even general area down there. I have a hard time believing that the alternator caused this fire. Okay? When it started smoking, the day I was there looking at it, and I looked down in there, you probably can't see it, and I didn't bring my light over here with me. The exhaust manifold's right there. You can see the O2 sensor sticking up. Okay, the exhaust manifold's right there, and it's wet. The heat shield's all wet on this side from oil, and that's what I saw smoking. So, a couple of different things. Could be leaking out of this valve cover, which it appears to be leaking out of the valve cover, down onto that exhaust manifold. And if they did, in fact, overfill it with oil, it could have puked out of this dipstick hole right onto that heat shield and exhaust manifold. Both of those could have caused that fire. That's kind of what I'm leaning at. So, fire it up, get the voltmeter, make sure it's charging the battery. If the alternator is in fact putting out good voltage, charging the battery, I'm going to call Donnie and see if he has a laser pointer heat gun if I can find a good spot here to shoot the alternator to see if it gets hot. Or we might just sit here and let it run for half an hour or something and see if, in fact, the alternator does get hot. Because it runs really good when it's on and running. So, I mean, it's possible. It's possible we have an alternator issue. Totally possible. I'm really hoping not, because it's going to be a couple hour, if not more, job to swap that alternator out. I don't even think you can see it on camera from up here. You can like barely see the pulley for it down there. See if I can focus. Focus? Focus right. Oh, there's the pulley right there. I think that's the pulley. That might be the... Nope, that's the pulley. Right there's the pulley for it. Underneath that radiator hose. Sweet, right? Yeah, not a great spot. I watched a bunch of people and they were like taking the radiator and everything out and fishing that thing up out of there. And then I watched one guy, smarter than the rest. He unbolted the air conditioner compressor that's way down in there, and then unbolted both sides of the subframe on this side and actually lowered the subframe down a little bit, and he was able to pull that alternator out that wheel well over there. Much better idea. Definitely think that's the way to go if, in fact, we have to change the alternator. Cross our fingers that we don't actually have to change the alternator. So let's see if it works. Well, as you can see, a little bit of puffy smoke coming up there, coming from down there. You can see the oil on the heat shield there. So, to me, that looks like that's what's burning off of there. Now, I am not an electrician by any means. Holy shit, this hood's aluminum. Wasn't expecting that. Anyways, let's set that there. It's running. I have this set to see if the battery was charging. This should be like 14 volts, and we're only getting 10.6. That leads me to believe that maybe that alternator is not working, which I don't like. I don't like that. I didn't want to have to change the alternator, but it's looking like we might have to change the alternator. Let's switch it to 20 and see what it does. About the same. Am I on the right setting? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I watched a YouTube video just like you guys do. Oh, -1? That's probably not right. Let's see if this thing does anything different. Oh, 22? Yeah, that's not right. Alright. I'm going to be honest. You guys have watched this channel before, you know I'm not an electric guy. Wiring, not my thing. Hate it. But this appears to not. The alternator appears to not be working. Pretty sure that oil's still not coming from the alternator. That smoke is not coming from the alternator, though. Definitely appears to be coming from that oil down there. I'm going to let it run for a couple minutes. I got a fire extinguisher here. If it catches on fire, we'll put it out. Right? No big deal. Let's see what happens. Okay. We might have a problem. As you can see, I got the jump box hooked up. I think we've established the alternator is not charging the battery. And I'm hoping what just happened is a low voltage thing because the battery probably got too low and caused whatever just happened. I happened to look in here at the dash, and it had some extra lights on. The traction control, ABS, and it said slip or something on it, had lit up, and those were not lit up before. And then literally while I was standing here looking at it, the dash freaked out, started blinking and flashing and shit, and then the dash went completely black. The car was still running, but the dash was totally black. So I don't know it would not start after I shut it off. Oh, okay. Alright. So I'm thinking it was a low voltage issue because that battery's not charging. And right now I got the jump block on it, so it's probably pulling all its voltage from the jump block. So we got to get an alternator. That was crazy. I was like, what the heck? Holy shit, it just freaked out. It also kind of sounds like it's breaking up a little bit. See, there's those lights. TCS, slip, ABS. So I'm going to shut it off. I'm thinking we just got a low voltage issue. So, Oh, let me get out of here. Oh my God, I'm getting old. This thing's low to the ground. Okay. What the F is that? Did you hear that? I hate electrical stuff. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and get this off of here. And we're going to take this battery cable off. I don't think that's a problem. We got the oil leakage there. So, what are we going to do here? I think we're going to drain the oil out. I'm going to look up how much oil it's supposed to have, and I'm going to put the oil back in. I got my certified labs, my race oil. We're going to put that back in there and get the oil level where it's supposed to be, because I'm not sure if it's right or not. So we're just going to drain it out. We're going to put new stuff in. And I'm going to order an alternator and figure out how exactly I'm going to get that out of there. I think I'm going to do what that other guy showed. Yeah. If the alternator is the only problem, then we're in good shape. But let me get this thing up in the air again. Well, I opened the trunk, and we did open the trunk the day we bought the car. So there are two basically brand new snow tires back here. Gonna have to throw those on Marketplace. See if I can get a couple bucks for those bad boys. Those are nice. Look at those. I don't have anything I could put them on. I don't think they'd be the best tire for racing at the Freedom Factory. Winter Track Pro. Doesn't seem like an asphalt tire. We've got a brand new CV shaft. So we might have a CV shaft issue. We got a brand new rotor. Hopefully that's for that doesn't look like a front rotor. Hopefully it's for the front. If you peek through the wheels here, we got brand new rotors and pads on the back of this thing. On both sides. So let's go look at the front rotor. Maybe that is a front rotor. The center of it looks too deep. And it does have kind of a deep center in it. Let's look at that bad boy again. Is that front? There's pads back here too. Those got to be too small to be front. Those got to be rear. That's got to be a rear rotor. Doesn't say. Just says brake rotor. An extra rear brake rotor? Sure. Why not? CV shaft and some... That's probably not a good sign, but could just be a small leak somewhere. That is just some plastic. Man, the trunk's actually pretty clean. Let's get all this junk out here, though. New brake pads on the back. That's pretty cool. Brake rotors and pads. All right, let's get this rotor out of here. Let's get this CV shaft out of here. Let's see if there's a spare tire under there. CV shaft. Extra brake pads for the rear. Sure, those pads are way too small for the front. The interior of this car is actually like really clean, and we're totally gonna tear it out. No lie, I'm gonna tear it out of here. Got Christina somebody. Half of an envelope. What do we got? Oh, we got that. I'm really gonna take all this shit out of here anyway. So let's just take all this shit out of here anyway. Maybe want an Altima rug for the back of their car? Okay, that doesn't let go. Oh, there is a spare tire. Does it have air in it? It does not appear to have much air in it. But it's in there. All right, that's it for the trunk. So, I was going through the cabinet, looking at all my different paints, kind of see what I had for paint, in the cabinet, and I found this turbo can that I totally forgot my dad put in there. There's a small possibility that I may have gotten a little overzealous, a little ahead of myself here. I didn't stand any of that. Oops. My bad. Painting's my favorite part. Give me a break. All right, I grabbed the palm sander and just real quick gave it a scuff, so hopefully the paint will stick. And that is not the right roller for what I'm trying to do. You want the foam hot dog ones, but my Tractor Supply was out, and this is all that Dollar General had. So, yeah, we're not going to do it right. But it's an enduro car, so I guess It's okay if you don't do it 100% right, I guess, right? Sure, why not? Anyways, I'm gonna pour out some white paint and see how far I can get here. Hey, that's not bad for a roller, all right? Not bad, and not even the right roller. So, I mean, how close are you guys gonna get to this car? You're not gonna get that close. You gotta look at it on the pay-per-view on Freedom Plus. You know, and if you're driving down the highway and you happen to see it on the trailer, I mean, it's white, okay? I wanted it white, it's white, all right? The base color is on. Now, you guys have seen me paint with Rust-Oleum before. Oh, guys. You need this stuff. You need that catalyst hardener to add to it. The catalyst hardener helps it smooth out, helps it be more shiny, and helps it harden much, much faster. If you just open a can of Rust-Oleum and start rolling it on, it will take 3 days to dry. I shit you not. See? That's a can of Rust-Oleum that I've had for a long time, actually. And it will take forever if you don't put that hardener in it. Seriously, 3 days. It'll still be tacky to the touch for 3 days. So you got to add that hardener to it. This will be dry by tomorrow. It might be dry by later today. But tomorrow. We'll come out tomorrow and maybe we'll put some other colors on it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't exactly figured out how I'm going to lay out the livery with 4 doors. I'm used to having 2 doors. We're going to use the same livery that's on my car, but I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to make it work. I have not figured that part out yet. But maybe we'll come out tomorrow and put the red on. Maybe we'll put some blue on. I don't know. I guess we'll see what tomorrow brings. But I got to let this dry now. I should have started stripping the interior, but I wanted to do fun stuff. Stripping the interior is not fun. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Okay, fine. So there's a small possibility I jumped ahead. A little. I jumped ahead a little. All right? Okay, I jumped ahead a lot. The white was dry within 24 hours. I came home from work. It was dry. I got a little excited. Like I said, it's my favorite part. And I very quickly did some blue and some red. And when I got to this side, I ran out of red. So I got to run and grab a can of red. But, I mean, come on now. Obviously, we got a lot more edging and detail work to do, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If I do say so myself, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I gotta go run down to Track Supply and hope that they have a can of red. What was that? What was that red? Sunrise red. Could run down, see if they got a can of Sunrise red so I can finish that other side. Oh no, we got a drip right in the middle. Really? Oh, it's pretty much already dry. No big deal. We can hit that with a little bit of white paint or maybe a white paint pen, whatever. Yeah, sweet. I'm digging it. We're moving in the right direction. It's looking pretty dope. Hey, remember that time I said I got overzealous and I painted the bottom of the car without sanding it? That's what happens when you pull the tape off. I did it on both sides, too. Pulled the paint right off because I didn't prep it. I just sprayed that stuff on there. You know, mistakes happen, but I have a paintbrush. I'll fix it. Not a big deal. All right. That's as far as I was able to get. I mean, that's not bad for quick paint job. Not bad. Ignore how wrinkly that number is. It's temporary. So, I'm going to get some sponsors for this thing.